Hey everyone, welcome to Day Deal on Display. Today we are going to be taking a look at a couple of dual layer cover cases for the HTC Incredible 2 as well as the Incredible S. You are more than welcome to check these cases out over at our homepage at any time. That is going to be located at www.daydeal.com. Now, I want to let you guys know that this case in front of us at Day Deal is called the dual layer cover case in your neck of the woods. Yes, you, the viewer who are watching right now. I actually apologize. In some cultures, it's rude to point. In any case, it may be called something completely different. All right. So if you're wondering if we are talking about the same product, I can't guarantee that. All I can say is that please watch the video over and over again to get an idea of what exactly we are talking about today, and we may be talking about the same case. All right. Now let's go and give you the tech specs for the dual layer cover case. These are going to be unofficial because there actually is no official source that lets us know what the measurements are, because these are aftermarket accessories once more. So I just want to give you guys an estimate of what to expect when you own the case for your phone. Our little scale says that the case weighs around 32.5 grams, which is actually quite respectable for what we consider to be a heavy-duty cover for the Incredible S as well as the Incredible 2. Let's go ahead and move on to the length measurement. That is going to be around 126.5 millimeters onto the width. And that is going to be around 71 millimeters, and finally the depth of the case, which of course a lot of folks consider to be one of the more important measurements. And we would say 17.5 millimeters is a good rounded estimate. And there you go, guys. Those are the dimensions of the dual layer cover case. Now, the colors that this case is available in may differ from region to region. At daydeal.com, we have them in 5, and that's going to be blue, green, orange, red, and clear, which we already have pre-installed on our dummy version of the HTC Incredible 2. Wherever you guys are shopping at, they may have more colors, okay? So yellow isn't out of the question, hot pink isn't out of the question, opaque white, for example, is another possibility, and maybe even I would say black, believe it or not, like a black case with a black skin, etc., stuff like that, okay? So the more you shop around, the more color options will be available to you. Now, before we go further, I know a lot of folks out there are going to probably dismiss this case as being a knockoff of two popular brand name accessories already out there for the Incredible S as well as the Incredible 2. We want to show you guys that this is exactly not the same product. Okay, this is actually different. It's its own monster. Let's go ahead and show you what we're talking about right now, starting with the big bad boy on the block. That is the OtterBox Defender case for the Incredible 2 as well as the Incredible S. Okay, first and foremost, these cases do not come with a ginormous OtterBox branded belt clip holster, so let's go and get that out of the way. And also the Defender, as you can see right here, is constructed completely different. First and foremost, it has a screen protector already built into it. This one does not. It is a skeleton frame, meaning that the hard part is on the inside and it has skin wrapped around it on the outside. This is the complete opposite. This has the skin on the inside, and then it has the exoskeleton, if you will, or the shell on the outside of it. Okay, so this is completely different. Hopefully we clear that up for you guys. Not to mention this costs 3 times as much as this. Now, another product out there called the Casemate Tough case, which is there right here, and that's also for the Incredible S and the Incredible 2. This more or less resembles that product, which is here, this right here, okay? And as you can see, the similarities are quite striking. However, they still are different. Now, these both have skins on the inside. However, this is a two-piece snap-on cover. This is just a back cover or a shell that goes over the skin like such, okay? So once again, they are different, although these are more similar to one another. So I would say that if you like the Casemate Tough, but maybe you didn't like the color options that were available, or maybe you were looking for a product that was very similar to it, but at the same time you wanted to save a couple of bucks, then the dual layer cover case may be the answer you've been looking for all this time, all right? So I'm going to go and move this out of the way, continue on with the dual layer cover case review in detail. So I'm going to go and take apart the hard part of the case right now, which is the two-piece snap-on. And once I take it apart, you can see the skin on the inside falls right out. I'm going to go and talk about that in just a moment. I do want to refer back to these two pieces right here. So since this is a snap-on cover, it's not going to be the most innovative design out there, but it's tried and true. You have a top wireframe piece, and you have the thicker back cover to it. They work together to snap over your phone. Now, this is not made of polycarbonate. This is made of standard plastic, okay? And some of you out there may be wondering what is the difference. Standard plastic, guys, is not flexible at all, period. It is extremely rigid, okay? And that also makes it a little bit more brittle or frail. If you happen to drop this case 1 or 2 times over, you may actually develop cracks in it, or you may even have it shatter outright, depending on the severity of the drop, okay? Polycarbonate, in comparison, which I'll just go and use the Casemate Tough, okay, this one actually has more flex to it. As you can see right here, I can't do that with a dual layer cover. So that means if you drop this over and over again, chances are it's still going to be a-okay. It's going to be still good as new, versus this particular cover, the more you drop it, the more frail it becomes over time, etc., right? So that's the key difference. That's why this is priced a lot less than the 2 brand name cases, okay, of the materials used. Now, moving on from that point, let's go and talk about the skin. It's actually quite thin, almost gossamer thin, as you can see right here, but it does do its job. It does provide a covering for the volume up and down buttons, as well as one for the power button, and really this just acts as a cushion for your phone inside the hard plastic snap-on pieces. This is really just there to absorb some of the impact, and this is what's going to be protecting your phone, okay, and that is that. If you obviously happen to buy 2 versions of the case, we would highly recommend you buy 2 different colors, because you can switch them out on the fly, and of course that's always nice to have extra customization options. So let's go ahead and bring in our pre-installed version on our dummy phone. Let's go and give you a 360 tour. On the front of the phone, you can see that the dual layer cover case creates an exceptional lip, and even has kind of a professional feel to it as well, because it does slightly taper off to the center. What I really want to stress is that this lip is extremely strong. That is because the hard plastic is actually pushing up against the silicone, and that means that not only is your phone obviously going to be elevated up and away from the surface you are resting it on, especially if you rest it on its face, but it's going to absorb a lot of impact should it fall on its face, and as long as the lip catches the impact first, okay? You won't even find this on the brand name covers except for the Defender. Now moving on onto the top of the phone, you can see a nice large opening for the audio jack, slightly recessed but not the end of the world. You should be able to fit angled as well as straight tip connectors, an opening for, I believe, the noise cancellation microphone, and the covering for the power button. No surprises there. Same thing can be said on the side, covering for the volume up and down. It doesn't stick out quite as much as you can see from this side shot, but it is just enough for your buttons to register comfortably. You can also see the opening for the USB port. Nothing out of the ordinary, just big enough for the OEM tip. We're not too sure about third-party tips, unfortunately. Moving on to the bottom, you can see the opening for the microphone. And we're going to go and turn it on its back. The dual layer cover case has a matte finish to it, so it's not highly glossy, not highly reflective, so that's always a good thing. I want to finish off this review by showing you the opening for the camera lens, the dual LED flashes, and the built-in speaker on the phone, and that is it, guys, for this particular case for your Incredible 2 as well as Incredible S phone. Now, closing thoughts and comments about this particular accessory. I want to let you guys know that this case is not just available for the Incredible 2 and Incredible S. You may see it floating around for other phones out there as well. So use this video as a reference. We usually don't talk about aftermarket accessories too much for every phone out there, because then we would just be overwhelmed, okay? And those are more popular than brand name accessories. I also want to mention that that it's not the same as the Casemate Tough, even though it really looks like it, but it's close enough where you should feel comfortable using it as a substitution, okay? So if you've been waiting for the Casemate Tough to come out in a color that you really like but you haven't found it, please check this product out. And one final closing thing is that please take into consideration the cost of this case. At Day Deal, we have this pretty much half the price of the Casemate Tough, and we have it 3 times as less as the OtterBox Defender. Now, obviously, they're kind of apples and oranges depending on how you look at it, but we want to let you guys know that price is a factor that you should always consider when buying something, because if you can have more of these, I think sometimes that's a little bit better, because these can be a little bit more expendable. They can be more interchangeable. In other words, you have more customization options if you buy multiple colors, and sometimes it's just nice to have more than one case sitting around for your phone. All right, so that is it. Feel free to check them out on our website at daydeal.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you next time watch the fancy outro graphics to hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. Thanks for watching.